Hello, my brothers and sisters. I want to use this opportunity to speak about the prophecy of Armageddon. The final hour is about to take over. The effluent river have dried, and the kings of the west and the east are coming. Their target is in West Africa, precisely Nigeria, where the power is existing. This is a kingdom where spiritual powers are controlling the world. Be alert, do not sleep, especially the righteous one. Be a watchman day and night, because the darkness are coming. You are warned. I want to use this opportunity to ask a question to the leaders of the world, most especially the ECOWAS leaders, who are loudly and boldly speaking the ruler of the world democracy and rejecting the military takeover in the Niger Republic. Hear this question. The leaders of the nations and the chief judges of all nations, please, for God's sake, you claim to be highly educated and the professors of science and technology of different knowledges. Please, can you define the word democracy? Can you define the word democracy in a layman's understanding? How the illiterate can understand it? How the non-educated people can understand it? Because the Christians and non-Christians are beginning to question where the word democracy germinated from, and for what purposes, and the final end point of this democracy. Where is it leading people? Is it to the pit of hell, or is it to life? Second, is democracy meant for private ownership or business ownership, or for public benefit and services? Is the word democracy meant for only the rich men of lawlessness, murderers, office and public fund embezzlement? Is the word democracy meant for those with education qualifications or paper certificates without sound knowledge, but exhibit psychological problems and act like beasts without common wisdom and understanding? Is word democracy against God's law, by which a common man without educational certificate but being blessed with divine wisdom, full of knowledge and sound understanding, with many amazing gifts that can bring hopeless people into life? Is the word democracy meant for family background or prejudice, or do or die election, or leadership by selection, not according to the laws by people's mandate or choice? If so, it means that there is no difference between democracy and what military rule. Because what has been happening in Africa, especially in Nigeria precisely, have been shown that this is not democracy. It is democracy invented by the European Union, so that they will dominate over us and keep us dead. What happened in the election 2023 in Nigeria have shown the whole world, the European Union, the African Union, the ECOWAS, that before the swearing in of the president, that Buhari administration has sworn Bola Tinubu in by military power. We know all these signs they are using, which is implanted by what? By European Union, that if a lawless man can begin to rule the country called Nigeria, now they have the power to come and judge Nigeria and took over Africa by slave trade. We know all their plans, and we will stand that Bola Tinubu is going to be removed. This is a warning to every person. Be very, very careful. Tinubu is going to be removed as the president of Nigeria. He is not according to the law. Law does not support it. He's a lawless man. Before trouble will cause in Africa, because their enemies are preparing to take place in Africa. I still ask him, is democracy meant to stealing, to kill, and to destroy good life and properties, and the good nation full of God's gifts, talents, abundant resources, full of good knowledge, and the highly spirited to join together and develop the nation? Is democracy meant for animal kingdoms and familiar spirits, where the spiritual identity of your brother and your sister or your political or church leaders are being manipulated or controlled or exchanged by witchcraft known as your enemies, who enslaves your ancestors, sent to destroy or punish your country? How to identify this such person? 1. His character is quite deceived, disguised. He will inspire you with agenda of development, with words, and show you good pictures. But the work will be delaying, and the work will be working slowly, without being finished. This is to show that this enemy comes to destroy, not to build. His democracy means to demoralize good behaviors. His democracy means to demoralize good laws. Is it to demoralize good leadership? Is it to demoralize good nation? Is it to demoralize good achievements of others have made? His democracy means to destroy demonic activities with demonic powers or witchcraft activities. His democracy means to use the goodness against the evil activities to stop. Yes. By allowing light to shine in darkness. Yes. Because if you don't have light, how can you bring new development? How can you defeat darkness? How can your leadership benefit both the common man on the streets, both the good and evil? His democracy means where the leaders of nation are filled with demonic spirits and practicing witchcraft inside, but outside looks like freedom of speech and lawful activities. Is the democracy where the leaders are not to obey law, but give law to the masses? It is impossible. Finally, the word democracy, does it mean to imprison your human spirit by demonic controls, but outside, known as human body, speaks freedom under manipulation and the cunning with smiles of pains and sorrow on your face? This type of smiling shows keep your mouth shut to avoid fear of what? Death. This is a fear of what? Unknown flying what? Objects. Which is this democracy whereby good ones are building and working, while the criminals are packing our billions and trillions of naira, developing another country? Is the democracy whereby leaders or government send soldiers and the policemen to go to the community that God had blessed with abundant crude oil, resources, talent, and knowledge, to kill them, to stop them from asking for their freedom, and to terminate their life. Destroy their land, destroy their water with crude oil, kill their father, kill their mother. Is that a democracy? This is called a democracy, demonic. And the world leaders are seeing this and kept quiet, smiling with what? With broad money. They send them broad money and they're smiling with broad money. Is it a democracy where all the roads in the nation are on no-go area? No rebuilding of road. Democracy where government leaders are increasing the prices of commerce, buying and selling, and tell people to go to hellfire, die. Is democracy where all the oil refinery in the state are not working? No good road, no good drinking water, no employment, no industries, no electricity, yet paying for power. No fuel, yet buying more than the nations without fuel. Is a democracy a group of political parties who promised freedom to masses while their own spirit is corrupt or prisoners under their slave masters? Their slave masters gives them knowledge of what they will do and push them to accomplish the task. My brothers and sisters, prepared, because the hour have come. Be alert, do not sleep. Your enemies are roaming like a lion. They can use your brother, they can use your sister. They are surrounding you. They want to cause confusion in West Africa so that there will be a war in West Africa. Then they will use this opportunity to enter with their armored car in order to lure you into second slavery. It is time to prepare. It is time to prepare yourself spiritually. The darkness is coming.
Nigeria's election, the world is watching. The bigger economies and democracies are also paying very close attention to this election of Saturday. Decision you have made in respect of those who you think want to manipulate the process or want to rig the 2023 election.
So we've just had a statement put out by our Minister, Andrew Mitchell, who's the Development and Africa Minister. I've got it in front of me. And basically, in short, where the UK is aware of attempts to subvert the democratic process, we are prepared to take action against those who engage in or incite electoral violence or indeed any other anti-democratic behaviour. And the sanction, we have two sort of tools in our toolbox to sanction. One is a visa ban. We can refuse a visa to travel to the UK for people who are undermining the democratic process. Or for more serious behaviours, we have sanctions under our human rights sanctions regime. So we're watching closely. This is not targeted at any particular political party, any individual. It can be applied to anyone. You mentioned earlier some hate speak, that unfortunately is very live in this Nigeria debate in the run-up to the election. And hate speak can incite violence, and that can be extremely dangerous. So we're watching closely. We can never reveal who's been subject to a visa ban for data protection reasons, but I can confirm we have used this tool, and alongside our US counterparts are prepared to use it again.
It's interesting.
Democratic journey, but this is not interference. This is not our election. It's your election.
What are your biggest fears about this election from what you have observed?
So I think there is a worry around insecurity and violence. So in this pre-election period, the number of pre-election incidents is higher than the last election. There's obviously the day of the election itself and following the presidential, the gubernatorial, where we hope people can go out to vote peacefully. But perhaps most worrying is the post-election period, where we have seen in the past in Nigeria that there's been quite intense post-election violence. So in order to avoid that, what we're urging the heads of the political parties to do is to ensure that their supporters go out and vote, of course, but as I said, accept the result. And if they feel they want to challenge anything, to do so through the courts, through the judicial process, to keep things calm during what is going to be a very closely run election. There's a lot at stake. So that's, I guess, one of my fears and worries. But assuming we can get through that, I think the future looks very bright for Nigeria with incoming presidential candidate, whoever it is, tackling those difficult challenges. And the UK, like most of the international community, wants Nigeria to succeed, and we're going to be coming in fully behind you.
Yeah. I mean, we need all the support, don't we? One thing that is here is the message, the fact that whoever becomes Nigeria's next president may not have the magic wand to erase all of the problems. But what would you say, you've been around for some time in this country, and as a diplomat, you definitely have a lot of information. What would you say the next president should focus on as a priority?
Well, I think it's got to be the economy, number one, because that's what's holding Nigeria back. And as I mentioned, I think the economy failing is also causing a lot of the insecurity. Not all of the insecurity, but a large part of it. So there are, 2 or 3 key decisions an incoming president has to take. Number one is to remove the fuel subsidy, which is draining the fiscus, but to do it in a way that protects poor people. Secondly, to tackle the multiple exchange rates. Businesses just will not invest in this country if they can't secure their foreign exchange. And 3, raise taxes. You have one of the lowest tax ratios in the modern world. Without raising revenue, you can't invest in public services, and in public services, infrastructure, education is key to the future. But the other point I just wanted to emphasize again is whoever comes in, build a strong, inclusive team with young people, with women in your team at the top table. Bring all that talent together and reach out to other political parties. A strong, inclusive team to help you and support you as a leader in what's going to be a pretty enormous set of challenges.